From Cincinnati, Ohio, the Ohio Stein Holding Championship. It is great to have you along with us here on ESPN the Ocho. I'm Frank Mazzella along with former Stein Holding champ Jim Banco. Jim will be bringing his expert analysis of Stein Holding as we cover the Ohio Championships. Jim, good to have you along.
I'm looking forward to a great competition here today. Ohio is a strong state for Stein Holding, and I think we have some really strong competitors here today.
Three big names in this race today: Kim Plannard, also known as Kimbo, Jerry Karn, also known as the Summer Santa, and Lowell Clark. Let's talk about all three of them. Kimbo first there, Jim.
He's a guy I expect to see big things from today. He was last year's Ohio State Championship here at Germania, and he's the current state record holder with a time of 8 minutes and 6 seconds, which he set for himself last year.
And right next to him is Jerry Karn, also known as the Summer Santa.
I really expect a lot from Jerry today, too. He's been competing for years. He was the 2011 Hofbräu U.S. MASSKRUGSTEMMEN champion, and I think he's really going to push Kim to really have a big time here.
Also, Lowell Badman Clark.
Lowell's a newcomer to the scene this year, but he's been a fan favorite, and I think he's going to have a big performance as well.
All right, Jim, we're going to go over some of the rules. Rule number 1, thumb rests on fingers, not on handle. The stein must be held away from you, not sideways.
That's right. We want the stein to really be an extension of the arm, not curled in at all. It's got to be straight out.
So you're saying that it has to be fully erect, the arm?
Absolutely. Yeah, we want it nice and straight. Right, so number 2, slight arching of the back is okay. The offhand must remain down by the side. Leaning in any direction is verboten.
No limbo or anything like that?
Definitely not. Stein Holding, MASSKRUGSTEMMEN, it's based on a German tradition, so this is all about precision. We want straight lines and right angles here. All right, number 3, any amount of beer spilled is a disqualification. Judges will determine if any drips present are condensation, sweat, or beer.
So is there a DNA test there?
It's usually not that serious, but again, this is based on a German Bavarian drinking traditions, so any amount of beer spilled is a terrible sin, and if you spill the beer, you're out of here. No strikes, immediately DQ'd. Yeah, 3 strikes. If you're too high, too low, you'll get a strike. If your elbow's too bent, if you're leaning too much, stuff like that. But with the spillage, it's an immediate disqualification if you spill.
That's a preview of the rules and the men's championship. We'll be right back for the women's championships here on ESPN the Ocho. Back here on ESPN the Ocho, joining the ladies in progress here for their championship. Jim, how important is it to wear sunglasses indoors as a competitor?
It's something I've always found to be really important, especially when your future's as bright as these ladies are today.
It's like poker sort of here. So you see the ladies up there right now. All the contestants are still in there at about the 1 minute mark. What do you prefer, holding the mug slightly up or straight across?
I'm more of a straight out kind of guy. It doesn't really give you any benefit to hold it up, but it is a little bit more difficult. So I think that's something that some of these ladies might regret.
As you see, Erin McLaughlin right there, she's one of the favorites here in today's championship.
Erin had a strong qualifier, so I think she's going to do well today. As we're getting into this, minute and a half, 2 minutes, this is where we're going to start to see some of them start to drop off. Whether you're a man or a woman competitor, after a minute and a half or so, you're going to start having a tough time.
Terry Vaughn is 5th from the left end. You see her on the first table there all the way to the left. Everybody's still looking pretty strong right now in the early going up to the 2nd minute of holding.
The women's Ohio record right now is 3 minutes and 12 seconds, which was set last year. So we got one down here. But I think we have some women here today that could probably beat or match that. So we'll see what happens.
Looks like a couple of the contestants have fallen out. There goes another one. The beer's on the table.
They're going fast.
What is the judges saying right there right now, the officials? Bringing that mug up?
The judges are going to be handing out strikes. You see them throwing down some coasters there. That's a way it's a traditional way to give strikes. After 3 strikes, the competitor's going to be out, or of course, if they spill, they're out immediately. But the judges are going to be giving them some feedback here, making sure their form is good the whole time.
We're down to 3 ladies, Terry Vaughn, Casey, and there's Erin McLaughlin. Terry Vaughn right there. She's still hanging in there.
We're approaching that 3-minute and 12-second mark. Like I said, the record from last year. Looks like we got a couple women here who are going to beat it.
When that shaking starts happening there, Jim, that's a sure sign that it's going downhill, isn't it?
It is. The shakes are one of the last things that you really can't control much.
And there's Erin McLaughlin taking the victory today, as she's the last one standing there to win the championship in the women's division.
Yeah, official time of 3 minutes and 26 seconds there. Erin had a great competition today. I think she should be really proud of herself, and a new state record for Ohio.
Here's the competitors for the Stein Holding State Championship men's finals. Sean Mad Dog Madigan, Dave Cavs Cavadier, Joe Bucky Hayo, David Boogeyman Hunsaker, Petey Sanovich, Kimbo Planert, Jerry Summer Santa Karn, Chris Oaktree Emmanuel, Troy Stash Daniel, Lowell Badman Clark, Danny Bulldog Stevens, Nick Stiffarm Pfeiffer, Alex Scareface Steinmex, and Andrew Shaggy Borgman. Back here on ESPN the Ocho, about to start the men's championship.
The men's side of things, you're probably around 5 minutes is where you're going to start to see guys dropping out. You're going to see some shaking. You're going to see the Steins start to dip down. We have some judges here, Jen and Stephanie, that they've done this before. They're not going to give these guys any slack, so you're going to see them throwing around coasters to indicate a strike. 3 strikes, you're out. Again, if you spill, immediately disqualified. But a lot of these guys, you're going to have to just be going to a happy place and just putting the pain behind them.
All right, Jim, they're about ready to start. The mugs are picked up, held straight out, and they're starting.
So depending on how much of experience, training, and conditioning these guys have put into it, you're going to see some different types of issues with form as they start to get tired. But look for bent elbows, excessive leaning, along with the Stein dropping too low. You want to see that arm roughly parallel to the ground. Can't have any bending there. If it gets too low or any of these things, the judges are going to issue a strike. 3 strikes and you're out. American baseball actually adapted this rule from MASSKRUGSTEMMEN, but remember, if any beer spills from the mug, that's an automatic disqualification.
Now, looking at the dress attire there, everybody pretty much is in short sleeves, and a lot of the shirts from prior competitions there, Jim. Any preferred kind of shirt to wear, just a T-shirt or no long sleeves?
Yeah, we usually require, if you're going to be wearing a long sleeve, you got to roll it up because we need to see the elbow at all times. Any bending of the elbow is going to give you a significant advantage. Typically, if you're going to be competing, especially if you're trying to take this seriously, you're going to want to take some sort of a jersey kind of material, either cotton or polyester, something that has a little bit of give to it. A dress shirt or something like that is just not going to have as much flex, so it's going to restrict your shoulders and it's going to make it more difficult for you to have proper form.
You see Kimbo already in his stance. He's already visualizing his way through this.
We've seen this from him before. He kind of goes into a trance and he really goes to a special place and just puts the pain away and he can really power through it.
As we go down the line, everybody's still in the competition. This is the early going as the tables are overloaded with Stein holding guys. A little bit of shaking going on right there. Is that a bad sign for that competitor?
It's not good. Sometimes you can push through the shaking, though. It's not easy, but a lot of these guys, like I said, they've competed before. They've been here. So we'll see what they can do in terms of time.
Jim, just kind of curious if there's a Stein Holding training site or school.
Yeah, the U.S. Stein Holding Association has put together a number of training tips that have been tested by myself and some of the other champions that we've seen over the years. There are a few things that you can do to really get better at this. It's not like training for anything else. It's kind of what you call an isometric exercise. So it really comes down to a lot of practice, but there is some nuance to it. But yeah, over at ussteinholding.com, there is a training section that can get you started. Yeah, it's the sort of thing that you don't know what's going to happen until you get out here and compete, especially on the day of a competition. Sometimes you have a bad day. Sometimes you just haven't trained for it.
14 competitors holding up the Stein and Beer, totaling 5 pounds. Who can hold it up the longest? There you see the left end of the line right there. Joe Heo holding his belt there. Any advantage of that, Jim?
I think it's really just whatever you're comfortable with when it comes down to this point in the competition. You're just trying to stay comfortable. You're trying to stay focused. You see a lot of people doing strange things with that offhand. A lot of times it's out to the side and it's kind of flexing, just trying to focus on the hand that you're holding with.
So it isn't that he's holding his pants up?
I wouldn't think so. It looks like that belt's doing a good job.
Alexander looks in trouble here. Don't know how long he's going to hang on here. That is why they call him Scareface. It looks like he saw a ghost drink from a Stein.
Yeah, part of what we want to see here is everybody having fun as well. This is obviously a serious competition. Everybody's taking it seriously. But at the end of the day, you got a beer in your hand, so there's no shame in being the first one out because you get to drink the coldest beer.
We're just at about the 4-minute mark. A lot of shaking starting to go on right now.
Pain's starting to set in. We're going to start to see guys dropping here, I think, pretty soon.
You see Troy Daniel, he's shaking pretty bad.
Yeah, he's not the only one. He's got a lot of company out there.
Also, Danny Stevens. Looks like a couple dropped off there, Jim.
Yeah, I think coming up on the 5-minute mark, that's where you start to really separate the wheat from the chaff, and you're going to start to see people dropping pretty quickly here.
Just kind of curious as this competition rolls on there, Jim, if any prosthetic arms are in the competition or have been in the past.
That would be a new one for us. I think we would probably have to address that on a case-by-case basis, depending on where the prosthetic kind of picked up in the arm. We really want to focus on the grip. We want to focus on the shoulder primarily. So we would have to look at that on a case-by-case basis, I think.
We'll be right back with the conclusion of the men's championship. We're back here on ESPN. Jim, how do you know if you got your groove on today?
When you get to the point where you're over 5 minutes, coming up on the 10-minute mark, something like that, training for this, it's very uncomfortable. When you get past a brief amount of time, your body starts to want you to stop doing this. So what we always tell competitors is that you can go longer than you want to. You can go longer than your body wants you to. It's just a matter of being able to push through the pain. Yeah, coming at this point in the competition, 5.5 minutes. 5.5 minutes is a very good time for a typical guy who's picking this up. If you can go 5.5 minutes, let's see you at a competition because you could be here with these guys at the state finals.
So it's official. Alexander Steinmetz, also known as Scared Face, he's out of the competition as we keep going down in numbers here.
Got a handful left here, and I'm not surprised to see some of these guys still up there. We got Joe, we got Jerry, we got Chris, Lowell, and of course Kim.
Any advantage of what your position is on the line of holders there? Is the end better for the holder? Is the middle?
Well, I do like to see we got some stronger competitors in the middle there, so it really depends on your sort of attitude towards it. Like for Kim, obviously his eyes are closed, so it doesn't really matter, but I've always found that if you're right next to somebody and you can kind of feed off of the energy of the competition, that can be really helpful.
Joe, hold my pants up. Heo is out. Right now, Kimbo is in a Stein holding trance. You see him next to Summer Santa. And also the big man, Chris, the oak tree, right there in the middle. Also still hanging in there is Lowell Clark. The big oak tree has fallen.
you see Lowell's offhand, like I said, kind of sticking out there. The hand kind of goes limp, and it's just you're focusing on that holding hand, and the other hand just does whatever it's going to do.
He's got to keep that hand fully erected. He's shaking like a leaf right now.
And we see Chris, he's trying to get the crowd pumped. He's happy to be out. He's enjoying that beer.
Face expression, is that important? Do you need a smile, or you can just mean mug it through this whole competition?
I think it always helps to smile, they say. It makes the body feel better, but at some point, especially at this point in the competition, it's not really going to make much of a difference, most likely. You're probably going to see a lot of grimaces, or like for Kim here, he's of the Zen school of Stein holding, so he somehow just puts it all away, and he's just in a peaceful state, but you're typically going to see a lot of unhappy faces.
We're down to 2 competitors, Kimbo and Jerry Karn. You see them head-to-head.
This is what you love to see in a state finals like this. 2 of these guys who have been in the game for a while, really pushing each other. You see Jerry starting to shake here a little bit, but I know he's still got more in the tank.
Kimbo in a Stein sleeping mode right now as he's feeling it. And that's it for Jerry Karn. He's out of it. Kimbo's just going on. He's visualizing it big time right now.
He just goes to a zone that he's by himself, and he's in the zone. He's in a Zen state. He may not even know that he's won at this point, but if he does, it's great to see that he's pushing himself. He's trying to push that new state record.
He's past the 8-minute and 40-second mark. He's in la-la land right now. Kimbo is going for it.
It's great to see a competitor who just keeps pushing themselves. And, it's not about beating everybody else. Sometimes it's about beating yourself, beating the record that you've set, and really just pushing for excellence. And that's what Kim's doing here.
Kimbo, 67 years old. There it is. He winds up over 9 minutes.
That's a great time. I know he's going to be really proud of himself for that one.
As you see in the replay, Kimbo is just riding off into the sunset. The old man, Grandpa Kimbo, just look at him levitate to the end as he gets another win. We heard from the runner-up, Jerry Karn. Here is what he had to say.
Hey, my training for this is basically just doing it. Any competition is a challenge to me, and I've been doing it for 10 years. I'm national champion in 2011. I've won trips to Germany, to Las Vegas twice, big screen TVs, thousands of dollars. But my guy over here gave it to me tonight, and I got some swag and some mugs, and God bless the German Society of Cincinnati for having us.
We heard from Kimbo after his win. He tells us about training and other secrets he has.
So I was asked why I go into a zone, why I close my eyes. I do that because the first tournament up here about 10 years ago, there was a lady who got in my face about 2 feet away, and she said, well, you don't look that strong. You're going to lose to my husband right next to me. So I closed my eyes, and I took her out of it, and I took the crowd out of it, I took everything out of it, and I just concentrate strictly on pain management and that shoulder. That's all I do. The only person I listen for is the judge.
Here are the final times for the Stein Holding Championship. As Jerry Karn said in his interview, the big guy gave it to him, and that big guy is Kimbo, and he certainly did at 9 minutes and 2 seconds. Jerry Karn coming in second at 8 minutes and 14 seconds. And Lowell Clark taking up third place at 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Well, Jim, it was a great night here at the State Stein Holding Championship in Ohio. Any final thoughts?
No, just great to see, these guys and these women out there pushing themselves and really working. Congratulations to Kim Plannert for his new state record and his big win, and also to Aaron McLaughlin, coming out of Springboro Oktoberfest, setting a new women's record as well. It's a great show tonight.
That will wrap it up from here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Kim Plannert takes another win. I'm Frank Mazzola along with Jim Banco saying thanks for watching and keep your Stein high in the air.